Hello, and welcome to the Babe Bulletin podcast, where we talk empowerment, self-love, boudoir, and anything else that makes us feel like a total babe. Spring is almost here, and May is the kickoff season for weddings. I used to work in the wedding industry as a bridal makeup artist, so I know that we are about to enter full-on wedding season. And if you are getting married, then you have found the perfect episode because we are going to be chatting about what to wear for a bridal boudoir session. I know sometimes choosing wardrobe can feel a little bit overwhelming, and I'm here to help with that. So if you are thinking about booking a boudoir session as a wedding gift, and more importantly, something for yourself, then I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're listening because I want to help however I can. I love bridal boudoir, especially for people who really struggle with their own self-confidence and body image, because you finally get to see yourself the way that your partner sees you as well. And that is an incredibly liberating and empowering experience. When you're getting married, your partner thinks you are just like the bee's knees, but sometimes it's really hard for us to see ourselves in that way. We tend to be a far harsher critic on ourselves than our partner is on us. So if that's something that you're struggling with and you just cannot possibly imagine why your lovely fiance adores you as much as they do, a bridal boudoir session can help you have that epiphany and help you realize, oh, I am like super gorgeous and they're so lucky to have me. Obviously, they love you for your personality, but they probably think you're a total baddie as well, and you just can't see it. So bridal boudoir sessions can definitely help with that. When it comes to planning, wardrobe plays a pretty big role in that, right? You want to wear something that you feel comfortable in, but that also creates the vibe or the mood that you want for your session. So let's run through a couple of ideas that I think are really perfect for bridal boudoir sessions. The first is pretty obvious, but it's a classic for a reason, and that is just white lingerie. It's a timeless choice for bridal boudoir, especially when you're thinking like very delicate pieces, things with lace on them, bras, panties, garters, so cute. And for most people, white can mirror the color of your dress. I myself did not wear a white dress. I did like an off-white, like cream color, but close enough. I would say though, if you're going in a totally different direction, maybe you're wearing a black wedding dress or I don't know, whatever color you want. I just saw a blue one the other day. It was stunning. I would wear lingerie then that mirrors the color of your gown. You really can't go wrong with white. It looks great on everybody and it highlights that pre-wedding glow that maybe you have. And I would say trying to find something that emulates the texture or, again, the design of your dress. Just a fun little bonus detail for your bridal boudoir session. I would also recommend bringing in accessories from your wedding as well. So we're talking wedding veils or your wedding shoes, things like that. When you incorporate like your wedding veil into your boudoir session, it really adds this very romantic, dreamy touch. And hey, you get another use for these accessories that you spent good money on, right? The veil can be used in a lot of ways when it comes to a boudoir session. I love posing people with veils. You can drape it over someone's body, you can use it as a backdrop, and it creates these very soft and dreamy images. It's honestly a very lovely way to connect your wedding day to your boudoir session. So I highly recommend bringing in your veil if you have one. If you don't, that's fine. We have one here at the studio that you are more than welcome to borrow. And if you're not planning on wearing a veil or you don't want to shoot with one, that's fine too. Bringing in things like, your shoes or jewelry that you plan on wearing on your wedding day, also very symbolic, very romantic, and a great way to connect your boudoir session to your wedding day. I also love anything that can serve multiple purposes. So for me, bridal boudoir can tick that something blue box that many brides try to get, right? The something borrowed, something new, something old. something blue. That was the wrong order, but you guys know what I'm trying to say. So bring in something blue for your boudoir session. A pop of color to your session can go a long way in adding variety and getting us unique images for your album or your portfolio box. Maybe a blue garter. Maybe you're going to bring in a blue satin robe that you plan on wearing while you get ready on your wedding day. Or blue lingerie. It's stunning. And especially in my studio, which is very jewel toned, blue looks great. We're not only giving a little nod, a little tip of the hat to a wedding tradition, but it adds a very playful element to your portrait session. So I would think about maybe adding something blue to your wardrobe bag when you are packing. Something else that I want you to think about is what personal touches could you bring to your session? Something that's very personal to you and to your relationship, because nobody has a relationship like the one that you have with your partner. Maybe you're going to bring in their favorite shirt. Maybe it's a piece of jewelry that they gave you, or it's just a very sentimental item that means a lot to both of you. I recently did a session with someone who brought in her significant other's chef coat, and she wore it for a few of the shots, and then I also draped it over the back of the sofa, and I added her bra and underwear alongside the chef coat, and we got this very beautiful photo that kind of told the story of, dressing to undressing, because the rest of her photos then were wearing a little less clothing. So overall, her images told this story, and it was a very, very cute detail shot of his name on his chef jacket. I loved the image. I had another client wear a necklace that was very important to her, and I was looking at it and I thought, what shape is that? I do not recognize that state. Is it a state outline? What is it? And it was the route that she and her partner drove on their first date. He had gone and found some company that will make out of metal the outline of the route that you drove. And I thought that was the sweetest thing. I didn't know what the heck it was, but it meant a lot to her. And once I got the story behind it, I was all aghast because I thought that was the most precious thing I had ever heard. So bringing in sentimental items like that is a fantastic way to make sure that your session feels like you, and that it's something very, very personal to you and the person that you're going to be gifting these images to. Which, if you're doing a bridal boudoir session, I'm guessing you're going to be gifting them to someone. Oh, not to mention, what a fun experience to be flipping through an album and have your partner be like, wow, my new wife is so gorgeous. And also, oh, look, there's the jewelry that I bought her. Win-win. To be like, I appreciate the gifts that you have given me as well. Something like that is very sweet. I have a lot of clients wear jewelry that they've received as gifts from their significant other, and I always think that's very sweet. One more idea for your bridal boudoir session, especially if you are feeling particularly nervous about getting into lingerie in front of someone that you've maybe only talked to a few times. Bring a robe. Typically, most people, when they are getting ready the morning of their session, they are in a robe, right? Because you're going to get your hair done, you're going to get your makeup done, and you don't want to have clothes on that are going to mess those up when you take them off. So I'm willing to bet you've already got a robe that you're planning on wearing on your wedding day. Bring it with. You could also bring a wrap, or you can bring any kind of clothing that covers you up a little bit more. That's totally fine. Robes are super sexy, and they do give you a little bit of coverage if you are feeling very nervous at the start of your session, which, by the way, nerves, very normal, totally fine. I fully respect them. It is a nerve-wracking experience for a lot of people to show up to a boudoir session, like I said, strip down and kind of let your vulnerabilities all be out there. So it makes perfect sense. But the reason that robes are so great is because they can be slipped off and we can get a little more revealing as you warm up and you become more comfortable. It's very important to me at my studio that we never do anything that is too far outside of someone's comfort zone, that they feel unsafe or just way too out there or way too vulnerable. So for folks who are particularly anxious about the experience, starting with more coverage and then building to less is a great way to go. It's a great option. So grab a robe or some kind of wrap and bring that with to your session. And it's going to look gorgeous, I promise. But when it comes to wardrobe, really the most important thing to me, and what I think should be the most important thing to you, is what you feel comfortable in and what you feel confident in. So as long as you are wearing something that makes you feel good, then I'm all set. I'm happy as your photographer to photograph you in whatever makes you feel the best. And sometimes it is about stepping outside of our comfort zone and wearing something that maybe you wouldn't normally choose, or wearing something that you don't feel 100% comfortable in, but you want to. It's a way of pushing yourself a little bit. It's a way of growing. It's a way of experiencing something new, and that's totally cool and amazing as well. So choose outfits that do make you feel great, but don't be afraid of stepping outside of your comfort zone a bit and trying something that maybe normally you wouldn't. Because who knows, you might find something and think, oh, well, I'm a leather strappy person now. I had no idea that I was interested in this. I just had a client borrow something from the studio wardrobe, and she came out. I could tell there was a part of where the lingerie was sitting that she wasn't super duper in love with, but we didn't talk about it. I wasn't going to bring it up. She was willing to wear it, and it looked great on her. And then during her image reveal, she did mention that, this lingerie was sitting this particular way, and I wasn't sure how I felt about that. And as we're looking at the images, guess what? She ended up choosing the majority of her images in that outfit. So sometimes you surprise yourself, and you don't even know what you're going to end up liking unless you try it. So stick with items that do make you feel confident and that you do love. But don't be afraid to experiment and try something new either, okay? Hopefully these tips helped you prepare and got your kind of brain wheels spinning about what you might want to wear to a bridal boudoir session. If you are ready to book, I am here. I would love to help you create beautiful and empowering images of yourself that remind you that your body is a really cool body. And I'll give you one last little bonus tip of advice. If you are the kind of person who does not like getting your photo taken and you're worried about your wedding photos, book a boudoir session. If you can rock a boudoir shoot, you will knock the heck out of your wedding photos. Wedding photos will not seem scary at all once you've done a boudoir shoot, because you're going to be fully dressed, looking stunning, feeling great, having the time of your life on your wedding day. And you've already done the boudoir shoot, so you've already done the actual scary photo shoot part. So there's my little bonus tip, my little piece of advice if being in front of the camera is very scary for you. All right, before we get to our babe of the week, I just want to remind you that you can support this podcast by liking it and sharing it. That's how we get more ear holes on this bad boy, and that's how we spread the education and the self-love around. So if you know somebody who might be interested in learning about all of this good babely info, please send this podcast to them. And if you booked a bridal boudoir session, I would love to know in the comments what you decided to wear for it. Wherever you are listening to this as well, you can rate and review us. That also helps a ton. And if you want to follow the studio, Bucks and Boudoir, we're pretty much everywhere. Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, and who even knows where else, but I'm Bucks and Boudoir pretty much everywhere. You can also book your session by going to www.bucksandboudoir.com and reach out, and I would love to chat about how a session could help you love your body a little bit more. Okay, on to the good stuff. We're talking about a fantastic babe of the week. A man. I don't know if we have had any male babes of the week. I think we've had some sports teams that have been primarily male, exclusively male, but this time I want to talk about a guy who I love on YouTube. His name is Rocky Kanaka, and maybe you've heard of him. He has like 5 million subscribers on YouTube, so he's a big YouTuber. And maybe you're like, this is very old news, Alicia. I already know who that is. Great. If you were like me, though, and several weeks ago you did not know who this person is, I highly recommend checking them out. Rocky Kanaka does this thing on his YouTube channel called Sitting with Dogs. And he will go into animal shelters and he will walk into an area that has a dog, like a kennel, essentially they're little kennels, and he will just sit with them and he'll talk about the dog and he'll give the dog treats, and he will try to get the dog to come out of their shell a little bit. He especially looks for dogs that seem shut down because they're less likely to be adopted, right? If you're trying to adopt a new dog and you're walking through and there's one that's huddled in the corner, you're probably not going to want to meet with that dog. So those are the ones that tend to stay in the shelters for a long time or even end up being euthanized. And I love that he goes in with so much empathy and understanding, and he really tries so hard to get these dogs to warm up and show a little bit of personality so that they know they don't have to be afraid around people. They don't have to be afraid in this space. And he's so respectful. He understands boundaries. He never forces the dogs to do anything that they do not want to do. And I even came across a video recently where the dog was particularly shut down and just would not really interact. And he took that dog home and started fostering it at his farm. Like, this man does not give up on dogs. And it's a beautiful thing to see. He will do affirmations with the dogs and he will let them know, like, you are a good girl, you're a good boy, you didn't deserve this, you're so smart, you're so beautiful. And I'm sitting here like, am I getting these affirmations? Am I like experiencing therapy right now by watching this man just sit with dogs in a humane society? It has brought so much light and happiness and comfort to me. And when everything in the world feels very scary and hard, I've been turning to his videos while I edit and work and just listening to him talk about these dogs. And I feel like there are people out there doing good things, and he is one of them. He's making the world a better place, not just for these dogs, but then for people who are trying to adopt a family pet. I mean, when I say we, me and my husband, we adopted our dog from an animal shelter, and Bosco has brought us nothing but love and joy, and he has made our lives so much better. And I want people to have that experience if they're looking for a pet, but you would totally look past some of these dogs if they were just so scared and huddled in the corner. So to see him give these dogs not only kind of a second chance, but to warm them up so that people, families, and adoptees want to give these dogs a second chance is not just good for the dogs, but it's good for the people too. So if you are feeling like everything is too much and it is too hard, I would definitely recommend checking out Rocky Kanaka on YouTube. And I will link to his YouTube in the description so that you can easily find it. Just go check him out and the work that he's doing, because what could be more babely than helping dogs, in my opinion? That's a pretty cool thing that babes do. They help animals. We love people who help animals, so definitely check him out. With all of that said, hey, you're ready for your Bridal Boudoir session? Hey, you got a new cool YouTube account to check out? You're all set to start the rest of your day, so I am going to leave you with one final reminder, and that is that your body is a good body and you deserve to be kind to it. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be good to yourself, be good to other people, and we will talk again soon. Bye!